Hey gang! I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today we're diving into the extraordinary journey of Sheldon Adelson, a man who rose from absolute poverty to becoming one of the richest men in the world. His story is not just about money. It's about grit, risk-taking, vision, and the courage to dream big when everything around you tells you to play small. This is the story of a boy born into nothing, who grew up to build a global empire in casinos, resorts, and entertainment, while teaching the world that fortune favors the bold. Sheldon Adelson was born in 1933 in Boston, Massachusetts, to immigrant parents. His father drove a taxi, and his mother ran a small knitting shop. They lived in a poor neighborhood where opportunities were scarce, money was tight, and every day was a struggle just to make ends meet. Imagine being born in a time when the Great Depression had left families broken, jobs scarce, and dreams almost impossible. But Adelson's story proves that greatness can grow even in the harshest soil. He wasn't born with a silver spoon, he wasn't handed wealth, but he carried inside him an unstoppable fire to escape poverty. At the age of just 12, young Sheldon showed signs of entrepreneurship when he borrowed $200 from his uncle to buy a license to sell newspapers on the street corner. He wasn't just selling papers, he was learning the game of business, the power of ownership, and the thrill of making his own money. That spark of independence pushed him further, and by the time he was in his teens and 20s, he was hustling with different small businesses. He tried selling toiletries, running vending machines, and even operating small ventures that failed more than they succeeded. But here's the thing, failure didn't stop him. It shaped him. It taught him resilience, adaptability, and the most important lesson of all, that in business, every failure is simply tuition for success. For many years, Adelson struggled. He started over 50 different businesses throughout his early life. Many of them never took off, but each one gave him insight. He never saw himself as defeated, only as a student learning the rules of wealth creation. It wasn't until the 1970s and 1980s that he struck gold. His big breakthrough came with the founding of COMDEX, a computer trade show that would become one of the largest conventions in the world. This was where Sheldon's genius really shined. He saw the future before others could. Computers were still new, still misunderstood by the general public, but Adelson knew they would change everything. He capitalized on that knowledge by creating a platform where innovators, tech companies, and businesses could showcase their products to the world. Comdex became massive, attracting hundreds of thousands of visitors and tech giants year after year. In the 1990s, Adelson sold COMDEX to Japanese investors for almost $900 million, pocketing nearly $500 million for himself. This was the turning point. This was where Sheldon Adelson transformed from a hustler into a titan. But here's the kicker, he didn't stop there. Many people would have taken that money, retired on a beach, and lived quietly. Not Adelson. For him, wealth wasn't just about comfort, it was about building legacies, about thinking bigger than anyone else dared. With his newfound fortune, Adelson turned his attention to the world of hospitality, entertainment, and gaming. He bought the Sands Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas in 1989, and from there, his empire began to take shape. Adelson had a vision for Las Vegas that no one else had at the time. He believed that the city could become not just a playground for gamblers but also a hub for conventions, entertainment, and world-class luxury. He was the one who pioneered the concept of the integrated resort, combining hotels, casinos, shopping, dining, and massive convention centers all under one roof. He understood that people didn't just want to gamble, they wanted experiences, they wanted luxury, they wanted everything in one place. That vision gave birth to the Venetian in Las Vegas, which opened in 1999 and became one of the most iconic resorts in the world. Modeled after Venice, with canals, gondolas, and marble architecture, it was more than just a hotel, it was a fantasy world brought to life. Adelson's ability to dream big and then make that dream real separated him from the average businessman. He didn't just follow trends, he created them. But Adelson wasn't content with conquering Las Vegas alone. He looked across the world and saw new opportunities in Asia. Many thought he was crazy when he invested billions into Macau, a small territory off the coast of China. At that time, Macau was nothing like it is today. It was underdeveloped and the global casino industry was still skeptical. But Adelson believed that Macau could become the Las Vegas of the East. He built the Venetian Macau, a resort so massive it dwarfed anything in Las Vegas, and he was right. Macau exploded, becoming the gambling capital of the world, generating more revenue than Las Vegas, and Adelson became one of the wealthiest men alive because of it. He didn't stop there. Adelson expanded into Singapore with Marina Bay Sands, another groundbreaking resort with its iconic rooftop infinity pool that has become one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. His vision was global, his execution unmatched, and his wealth soared into the tens of billions. But here's the real takeaway from Sheldon Adelson's journey. He wasn't just a businessman, he was a risk-taker. He bet big when others hesitated. He saw opportunities in places that looked impossible. And he always thought decades ahead, not just about the next quarter or the next year. That long-term vision made him unstoppable. He taught us that to achieve financial freedom, you must be willing to think differently, to embrace risk, and to act boldly when others play safe. Of course, his journey wasn't without controversy. Adelson was a strong political donor, he faced criticism for his aggressive style, and his empire sometimes found itself in legal battles. But regardless of where you stand on his politics or personality, his business acumen cannot be denied. He turned poverty into prosperity, failure into fortune, and ideas into empires. By the time of his death in 2021, Sheldon Adelson's net worth was estimated at over $35 billion. He had gone from selling newspapers at age 12 to owning some of the largest and most successful resorts in the world. He left behind not just buildings and businesses but a legacy of daring vision and relentless pursuit of success. His life reminds us of one very important truth: your beginnings do not define your destiny. You can be born into poverty, you can fail dozens of times, you can be laughed at for your dreams, but if you keep going, if you keep believing, if you keep taking risks, you can change the world and change your own life. So the next time you're thinking about giving up, remember Sheldon Adelson. Remember the boy with nothing who built an empire out of imagination, persistence, and courage. His journey wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And that's the essence of financial freedom, not just to make money but to build a life so big that people will remember your story long after you're gone. That was the inspiring billionaire journey of Sheldon Adelson, a true rags to riches icon. Let this story fuel your own path toward wealth, independence, and freedom. If he could do it, why not you?